Welcome, everyone. This is Coffee with the Founder. I'm Beck Bamberger, and we do this show so that we better understand what it is like to run a venture-backed company and why you would do it in the first place, frankly. Frankly. With us today is Charles Chiau. He's the co-founder and CEO of Bedrock Ocean Exploration. Yes, it is ocean exploration on the floor, which remains one of the mysteries, I would say, of humanity, because what the heck is down there is a big mystery. But now becoming less mysterious because we're actually mapping it and finding things on the floor there. Charles, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, so why navigation of the bottom of the ocean?
Well, if you think about most of our infrastructure, everything that we know today, you can find traces of it all the way back to the ocean, right? Your power, your energy, resources, safety, navigation, all this stuff, your food, right? Food source as well. All of this has ties to the ocean. Land is pretty saturated and humanity is expanding more and more down there. But we know nothing about that. And so to build infrastructure, to support it, to monitor it and grow, you need a map, you need clarity of what's going on out there. Also, what is the sort of impact you're going to make for the long-term future, right? You can't just blindly go do stuff and then not think about the future because it's going to come back.
And you said here, we're vowing to explore and map the entirety of Earth's oceans. Dang. Okay. So it's kind of like the Google Maps of the ocean floor.
Basically, it's Google Ocean, but that didn't happen for various reasons: technology, availability, capital, things like that. It just wasn't ready. But if you take that macro shrink down, it's possible.
Okay, so I like to mention this on the show of just why didn't that exist yet? What was the technology that wasn't around or whatnot? So why hasn't this become available before? And sometimes it's just as simple as it's just cost prohibitive. We can do it. It's just going to be outrageous, and so no, it's not normal, it's not feasible even to execute it. What's the answer for you all?
It starts with cost. How we do surveys and mapping right now, it's either large ships towing a bunch of gear, it doesn't scale, you're heavily involved in the infrastructure just to move those sensors around. And so you look at the entire unit economics, like it doesn't make sense. So how do we do that cheaply? It's going to take the people off the water, take the infrastructure out. And then, early days, Google Ocean was divers holding cameras, and the combination of sensors is crazy. The amount of intel you can get, but you need a lot of different types of input. It's not just one lens, right?
Yep. And so right now you're doing what you call AUVs, autonomous underwater vehicles. Tell us how those work. They go down in the ocean, they float around, they're like capturing, they're like Waymos, but on the bottom of the floor of the ocean.
I would call it, they're closer to Roombas.
Okay.
Same thing, right? Same thing. Just think about, our world starts very different. We're already in a GNSS, GPS denied environment.
Yes.
And so the autonomy level that you have is already, level 4 and above. Basically what it means is we can't remote control. We're already in limited communication with it. We can't do what terrestrial systems have where, great, I'll just live stream it back to the office. Like it has to just be self-contained. And so right off the bat, it's autonomous. It mows the lawn. It has to have intelligence on board to protect itself and the environment, and also collect really good data. That's really the core and the foundation of a lot of these things is how good is your data leads to how good your insights are going to be.
Well, and how good is then the price, I'm sure, because then who wants it? And you were just mentioning
exactly.
All right. Okay, so break this down a little bit too, Charles. Who does want this? Yes, we can argue governments, of course, warfare, intelligences, industries, but what else and who else needs this information?
I mean, anyone who touches the seafloor. So you can think about from infrastructure is really the big topic nowadays. We lumped energy, telecom, for oil and gas, minerals. It all ties back to critical infrastructure, bridge building and whatnot. So most of the activity for humans are within EEZ zones, shallow water, deep water. There's business, oil and gas and things, but there's not a lot of big economic things going on down there from a venture-backed startup perspective. And so, we're really focused on that region for construction, and parts of the development into the ocean all requires various phases of surveys. And so that's really what we're focused on.
And explain surveys a bit more. What does a survey come back looking like for you, from you?
Yeah. Well, I'll start with macro. There's different kinds of surveys.
Yes.
All types, different use cases. We really focused on the what's called geophysical survey.
Yeah.
That is sort of if you draw a Venn diagram of what most industry look at, it's how do I know what's down there in terms of how deep it is, what does it look like, are there metallic objects, and what's buried. And so that's sort of a
what's buried?
Yeah,
I didn't think about that.
Because if you're trying to put an infrastructure, driving a pylon down, like, I don't want that thing to land on a bomb or rocks or some other stuff. And maybe I land on a cable or paleo channels or historic shipwrecks, things like that. There's a lot of seafloor also moves. That's one thing that is
plate tectonics. Let's go.
From the seabed also to the surface too. So like sand moves, things like that. So they have different time zones in terms of how frequently they move. So
dang, man,
it's complicated.
It is complicated, and you're doing, at least you say, 50x more detailed than the current situations or current available options.
Yeah, just from a global map perspective, I would say, depending on where you're looking at, there's radio altimetry, there's pictures from space. One of the analogies I like to say is like our seafloor map is so sparse and the pixels resolution is so large. It's on the order of, could be hundreds of meters to 5 kilometers for a pixel, which means you can hide a nuclear attack submarine in a pixel from a crappy image from space. Almost the equivalent.
Yeah, because it's just so bad. Like you can't, other solutions are, oh boy.
So only about 1% is mapped into high res. And that's like near shore, near infrastructure where they have high resolution, high accuracy. And so how do we get that to the whole ocean? That's really the challenge.
Dang. Yeah, I've seen articles too, just related to this on just, we've had the land mapped and everything, but like the ocean is just like, no one knows. Like we don't even know it's down there. I always get thrilled when you read it in like the New York Times in the nature section, and they're like, we found these 17 species in the water, 2 miles down, looking like something that just came out of hell. I mean, it is just wild, Charles.
All those monster movies, Godzilla, kaijus, and things like that.
They're inspired by the deep ocean because had to seen them. Jeez, man. Okay, so you, Charles, you were in you did some submarine work. You were doing that before in engineering. You've you've touched the ocean as an electrical engineer previously, years and years ago. But like, what sparked you for the ocean?
It has a weird pull. I'll tell you a little story. When I graduated, I didn't want to work at a typical big company.
Yeah.
I found this random garage shop called Deep Flight at the time. I walk in, it was like there's 2 human-occupied submarines, and I didn't know that existed. Like how are these things available in a civilian use case? They were basically built for private luxury yachts. They were built for science, built for defense. I immediately just got hooked, and I can't believe as a college grad I get to work on some cool stuff, and I'm not sitting at a desk.
Yeah,
and that just led to diving submarines and Sea of Cortez and weird stuff off super yachts, and then getting lost.
Wait a second. So wait, you got lost? You got lost in the submarine?
That's the first thing that happens typically in deeper water. The water goes away. You go down. It's all blue.
No.
And then
Charles, no.
Without a map, you're done.
No. No. Did you ever read Sphere by Michael Crichton?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It's giving me the versions of that. Not Sphere, but then the other one that's what's the deep dark ocean one? That was just, which one am I talking about? I gotta look it up. The late Crichton. No. Okay, I'm gonna find it in just a second. But oh my God, it gave me just chills forever. Okay.
Yeah. This is 20 years ago. There's like different technologies, but
still.
Early
so
days.
What's the story of you getting lost in the deep ocean down there?
It happens pretty easily.
Because it's just murky and it's everything. But like, where no nav,
right?
No navigation.
Very. I would call it very sparse nav. Technology. It was like, where are you in space?
Just to be clear, it is Sphere. I knew it. See, oh God, yes, it's a mysterious spacecraft that's like going around the Pacific Ocean floor, and it's a little psychological thriller thing. Okay, so correct, it was Sphere. Go ahead. You were down there floating in the abyss.
No, I mean, as soon as you break the surface, right, you go down, it's blue. Everything is blue. And so you have to rely on whatever instruments you carry on board.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's very sparse, sometimes it's super high tech, but we couldn't afford that early days. And so it was just, here's my heading, here's my depth, and how long I'm going. So dead reckoning where you are until you find like, oh, here's a reef. But that looks like the other reef that I just passed.
Yeah, it might
and
be a circle.
you're circling. And so that was the first time I realized we know nothing down here. And if I'm trying to find like my boss at the time or customers diving a submarine, like, okay, well, we need better ways to know where we are in this blue sphere, essentially.
Was that really the aha moment for you, or did you gradually come to it?
It was more I kept coming back.
Yeah.
I did submarines. I went on aircraft stuff. I did spacecraft. And the ocean just kept having this pull of we know nothing, and it's a hard problem, and no one's done this. And then MH370, plane crash. We can't find the airplane. I'm like, okay,
Charles, I could just yes. Wait, pause. What do you think? Where is it? What's your take? Do you have a take on this? Is it down? Is your technology going to find it down there somewhere?
That's what it was built for. That's where Bedrock was. One of the first use cases was taking that case study to see why can't it be done. Other companies have tried. It's just a large space. Ocean is a challenging space. It's just big and hard to find.
Wow. Oh my God. What can you imagine that headline that you guys all find where that plane went?
And many others. And
frankly, many others.
What were you going to say? Giving closure to families.
Really, truly,
all the way back to many wars. There's a ton of value in understanding our seafloor.
Is there a term for that industry of just finding? I don't know even the term of that. What is it called?
I don't know.
Reclaiming or something. I don't know. There seems to be like a niche industry that we should know a term for it, of like finding the stuff that went away mysteriously and we don't know where it went.
Yeah, there's a couple that are doing really good work, spending the time and resources to go do that. I think Lost 52 is one, and there's some other folks, but yeah, like kudos to those guys, spending efforts to continue on the things that's been hard to do and hard to fund. I think that's
hard to fund. There's another component of it. Okay. Have you unlocked something lately, Charles? Like I've been using it as like a hack, but an aha or a how-to. You were mentioning earlier before we started recording that you're hiring a lot right now. So is there anything you recently have unlocked?
I think recently, one of the biggest things we've done is we've sent our systems internationally, and we've unlocked sort of this global reach, something we've talked about, global operations. We've never done that before. And we recently got to ship a system out to a foreign Navy to go test in a place we've never been, in different conditions, logistics, all this stuff. And it was crazy.
So how did that foreign Navy come to you, or how did you get that deal? That's a whole other level of enterprise sale right there, I kind of think.
It's really where the gravity of the world is kind of going toward for subsea. We've always had this thesis that critical infrastructure subsea is going to be a thing, and it wasn't until recent years of things happening with infrastructure that people really started to look of, okay, what's available, what are we vulnerable, where are we vulnerable? This is something I've been saying for 20 years, and like, guys, subsea's the thing, and everyone's like, oh, it's never going to happen, until now you drag an anchor and all of a sudden nations go down with no internet.
Exactly, because they don't have the Wi-Fi, and because there's a cord, the literal cord down there. It just blows my damn mind.
Yeah.
God.
Like, it's so easy. Duh. But now the timing makes sense. So basically, like, people are looking for solutions, and we strategically positioned the platform really to solve this type of problem. But we're commercially focused first because, as a company, like, wait, we have a business, like, what is the core at the end? But the use case wise is almost infinitely scalable to anyone touching the seafloor.
So was that, but here's my question. How did you get them as a client, a customer? Was it an inbound lead that you got? Did you meet them at a conference, or what happened?
Met at a coffee shop? No.
It was okay, you need to see the bottom of the ocean? I got you.
Well, sort of like-minded folks end up in same places in the right conferences, and what we're looking for and what we're trying to provide. And one thing led to another, and basically, hey, come here, show us what you have, right? We're at the place where there's a lot of PDF docs and claims of what people can do in technology. maritime has been burned a ton in the past of under
Yeah.
delivering. So everyone's
Oh,
hesitant on trying technology and adopting. So
so it's
they're
a
very
literal
hesitant to get
show
on
and
the tech,
tell to seal the deal. So
basically.
you had to show up
Oh yeah.
and be like, listen, watch what's going on.
We need to show up. We told them what we're gonna do. We're gonna do what we did,
Yes.
and then we're gonna show them again
Yes.
in a different context, and basically
Yes.
build that trust essentially
Yes.
to be able to seal the deal overall.
Yeah. Do you get like one free dive of like the ocean? Like, is there like a freebie for this?
No.
Like, what's the biz dev on this? Oh my God.
No, I mean, ocean is one of these, I would consider it like one of the most fair level playing fields, because it doesn't matter if you're PhD, big company, small company, whatever background. As soon as that you cross that air water gap, fair game. It is trying to crush you.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't
It
care.
just has to work, right?
It
doesn't
does.
have
It
to work.
does.
So
What a fascinating way. I've never thought of it. Just like the playing field is literally just because of the pressure of water in the ocean.
and just wet.
Oh my
You're trying
God.
to take electronics like that doesn't like
Yeah.
water, or people
Yeah.
throw in the water.
Yeah. That hasn't worked out lately for some.
No.
As we know, we were referring to that explosion or whatever happened with those adventurers, let's say, from a while ago. When was that? 2 years ago? Earlier
It was a while ago. I have a whole separate long story on that. We can go rabbit hole, but we'll leave that.
Okay. Do you have it? Can you shorten it by chance?
No.
Okay. Then that's not going to be for here. You got to listen to part 2 of this podcast here, where we're finding planes, we're finding people down there. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Charles, what's recently become clear to you?
As I've always been a technology forward person, right? I'm a tech guy.
Yeah.
After starting a company, growing through some of the executive roles and changing, leaning on the business side, and also through fundraising, all that. What really broke my heart was no one cares about the technology. It's about connecting needs. It's about the business at the end of the day, which is a kind of a heartbreaking moment in some aspects. But it also provides a lot of clarity, because what you're trying to do needs to tie into impact. And so how you measure that and all that. So you're not just going to build a solution just for the heck of it, but like, how does it impact the world in some ways that align with other people?
I like you mentioning that, because there are some people out there that get so hyped on the technology and all the features and all the product. It's like, yes, but if you cannot sell it, who cares? This is where companies go to die, because you've got such the thrill of the intellectual, the academia, the blah, 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 but you literally cannot sell it and connect the dots, and it will die. And I sometimes think about that, Charles, of like, how many solutions have we as in like society have or had, but because of that lack of the business acumen, have not seen it. Like, are some cancers solved right now? Most likely, yes. Are some militarily defense systems, solved right now? Yes. Like, there's so many things we have already solved, but you don't have the business chops to do it. Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, totally.
I think about it all the time.
It's been burned in my brain, sort of like last 2 years of like that transition from what are we solving for, and your deliverables becomes not just your technology solution. It's like the customer, their needs, and also like, for example, how do you grow, right? Who are you aligning with on your investment side, and from our side globally, right? What are the nations that we can align with? How do we solve their problems for real in the time frame and limited capital that we have? Right?
Yeah,
that is the hardest
constraint.
Hardest thing to put together is not just about the tech. And I naively grew up from that, like, oh, cool technology.
It's gonna work. Yeah,
I could, but like in this growth phase, like, it doesn't matter in some ways. It's how do you you mentioned the narrative story of how do you have that like distorted reality of what the future can be and build toward that.
You said heartbreaking. Why is it heartbreaking to you? Just because you're such a super nerd and you're just like, but it's cool.
Yeah, basically. It was like, I will build whatever, like, I know the solution, blah, 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 I can do it. But, just reframing a little bit when someone says, quote unquote, that is not valuable. It's not just saying the tech isn't valuable, but you disconnected what you were building to like bigger picture. And so it's more of one lesson learned is like decoupling from what you do to who you are is the key part. And it's not a reflection of you because you built a tech that didn't, match some business case, but just like really take a step back and growing into seeing the bigger picture. and how do you bring that solution essentially and impact people. And the
Yeah.
people you impact is very niche in some aspects.
In some aspects, but we're all on this planet, Charles. So I'd say we
Yeah.
all see the ocean, or we all know the ocean.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm doing it anyway. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
from,
yeah, I get
from a
it.
business side, it's like
I get
heartbreaking,
it.
but I'm
I get
still
it.
gonna tinker in my garage, and you have no idea what
Of
I'm doing.
course. Of course. Okay, to round us out for today, who are you becoming, Charles?
I am becoming a better version of myself.
Okay, tell me more.
And one of the things someone asked me once in the interview was like, what is your definition of success? And I don't see success as a singular event. It's going to be constantly growing. Whatever you're
It's more of
touching
a
is going to
linear.
be,
I agree.
yeah. And hopefully you can get to some exponential part of growth in the time frame that we have. And I think what was hard before was having a single goal. You get there, and then what? Right? It's like you're using the goals to define who you are. But if I'm just better every day at 1% in some aspects, I can grow in any direction. It never ends, right? I think then the journey keeps going.
Yeah.
And I think that's a more healthy way to look at stuff compared to my prior self.
I think so many people have that, I'm going to call it like peak philosophy. Oh, once I get to the top of the peak, then I'm successful, and then check the box or do the thing. You know, I got the gold star, I got the money, I got to do it. And then you're like looking around going like, but what about that peak? Or what about that thing? This is the crux of founderitis, as I say. Like, you cannot help to want to adventure to the next thing, because just getting to a peak is momentarily satisfying.
Yeah.
Momentarily, as in the span of life. You might celebrate for a year, you might a week, a month, or whatever, but it's not you're not done for 27 years. And like, okay, no. But I think that's the fun of it.
I mean, it's also one of the loneliest spots. If I can be honest, like you're at the peak, and then what, right? Like I look back as who are you high-fiving at the end of those moments? Like a SpaceX is like when you launch something, so your intention became real, and then all this happens, and then, but who are you hugging, who you're high-fiving, and who's in the trenches with you? Like that's what I really love.
Oh, I like that. Who are you high-fiving on the peak? Charles, we will wrap it up right there. That's so good. Charles Chiau, you are co-founder, CEO of Bedrock Ocean Exploration, finding everything on the damn ocean floor, because who knows what's down there. I guess we're going to see. Oh my God.
Yeah. Log into Mosaic, you'll find out.
I was going to say, I'm like, I need to get on the newsletter. That's like, this week we found, do you have a newsletter that's something like that?
Oh, yeah. Well, growing. We've been pretty quiet on what we're finding because, there's sensitive stuff. And then also fun things will release.
I just think you could have a real fun, let's say, like Instagram on just like this week on the ocean floor, this creature. Oh my gosh. Okay. We can't wait. Charles, thank you. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.